It's the electrified love child of an SUV and a supercar raised by a mad scientist. It's the Tesla Model X. This offspring of doors that open like this and a luxury family SUV has finally won me over, even with, you know, these.
Because it's made by Tesla, the Model S is fast, full of tech, and more importantly, electric. The best feature of the car is the range, and the quick charging thanks to the supercharger network. The P90D Model X has an incredible range of 250 miles. If that's not impressive enough, when hooked up to one of Tesla's supercharger stations, you can top it off in a little over an hour. Of course, it also has autopilot, which after driving to Reno and getting stuck in Sacramento traffic, still feels like the best lane assistant adaptive control system on the market. Add in auto lane changing, and this is probably the closest many of us will get to autonomous cars for at least a few years. And as Tesla continues to remind us, it's not perfect, and you need to keep your hands on the wheel. On more than a few occasions, it got confused by the car in front of me as it was exiting the freeway. And in one case, when the car, road, and median divider were all white and the lane markers were faded, the system wasn't quite sure what to do. While it took me a bit to warm up to the gigantic display, I eventually got over the lack of physical buttons for things like controlling the temperature. I did find the web browser as ridiculous as the Falcon Wing doors, but realized that a lot of people just sit in their Teslas while charging. In these moments, a giant web browser is actually pretty nice. Just don't use it while driving. My biggest complaint is the lack of CarPlay or Android Auto. The media integration via Bluetooth feels dated compared to those two solutions. That also means there's no way to reply to text messages with your voice while you're driving. When you're not tapping on the giant screen in the middle of the car, you can take in the amenities of the Model X. The enormous screen, the doors that open when you push the handle, or can be opened and closed from the console, and of course, those Falcon Wing doors. Let's take a moment to address those Falcon Wing doors. They're a bit ostentatious. I actually felt self-conscious using them. Technically, they're impressive. While in the parking garage, they stop from hitting a beam directly above the car that I didn't see, and they'll open with only about a foot of clearance on either side of the vehicle. But they're just so Miami Vice. Your feelings about doors that open like this may vary. As for driving, this Model X is the P90D version with the $10,000 ludicrous mode option. It does an insane 0 to 60 in an eye-popping 3.2 seconds. Plus the handling is fun thanks to a low center of gravity, different driving modes, and an air suspension system that goes from very high to very low.
Now the P90D will set you back about $132,000. Now that's with all the trim and ludicrous mode. That's a lot of money. If you still want a Model X though, you can get one of the new cheaper 60Ds starting at about $76,000. Or if you're looking for something a little bit more sensible, you can get the new Model 3. It's not shipping yet, but you can pre-order it, and that'll be $35,000. Now those are all prices before tax credits. But if you get that Model 3, you're not gonna get these cool doors.